Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there was a man named Arjun. He was neither a saint nor a wise sage, but just an ordinary farmer. Arjun always had a dream, to own a vast piece of land where he could cultivate and become the richest man in the region. Despite working hard, he always felt that what he had was never enough. One day, a rumor spread throughout the land about King Mahadeva, who was famous for his boundless generosity. People said that anyone who came to the king and asked for something would receive it without hesitation. Arjun immediately saw this as the opportunity of a lifetime. He thought, if I can ask for a vast piece of land, I will never have to worry about poverty again. With this thought in mind, Arjun set out for the capital. When he arrived at the palace, he saw hundreds of people waiting to meet the king, each carrying their own wishes. When his turn came, Arjun knelt before the king and said, "Your Majesty, I am a hard-working farmer, but I do not have enough land to cultivate. Please grant me a vast piece of land so that I can provide for my family and help others." The king looked at Arjun for a moment, then smiled and said, "You may have as much land as you desire, but there is one condition. Tomorrow at sunrise, you must start walking from here. Every piece of land you walk across will belong to you. However, before the sun sets, you must return to the starting point. If you fail to return in time, you will lose everything." Arjun was overjoyed. He thought this was the greatest opportunity he could ever have. In his mind, he already envisioned a vast farm, endless rice fields, and large herds of livestock. The next morning, as soon as the sun rose, Arjun began walking. At first, he moved at a steady pace, marking out a reasonable amount of land. But soon, greed took hold of him. He thought, if I go a little farther, I will have more rice fields, more lakes, more forests. So he quickened his pace. He walked past fertile fields, dense forests, and rolling hills. Every time he saw a beautiful piece of land, he tried to include it in his territory. Time passed quickly, and the sun had already reached its peak. He began to feel tired, but when he saw a valley full of flowers and a clear river, he decided to go just a little farther. Then, Arjun realized something terrifying. The sun was beginning to set in the west. He had gone too far. If he didn't turn back immediately, he would lose everything. Panic-stricken, Arjun started running. He sprinted over hills, across fields, but his strength was waning. His heart pounded, his breath grew ragged, and his legs felt like they were about to collapse. He thought, I cannot lose everything. I must return. As the sun became just a thin line on the horizon, the palace finally came into view. With the last bit of strength he had left, Arjun dashed toward the starting point. But just as he set foot on the mark, the sun disappeared below the horizon. Arjun collapsed, completely exhausted. He no longer had the breath to utter a single word. The king shook his head and looked at him with pity. You had everything in your hands, but you wanted more, and now you have nothing. The people of the kingdom heard Arjun's story and learned a valuable lesson. Boundless greed only leads to loss. Life is not an endless race to accumulate more, but knowing when to stop and appreciate what one already has. From then on, Arjun's story was passed down from generation to generation. People retold it to their children, reminding each other of the dangers of greed and learning the wisdom of contentment for a peaceful life.